These little details are totally fetch. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things you never noticed in Mean Girls.
Having lunch with the plastics was like leaving the actual world and entering girl world.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be going over the small or hidden details that it can be easy to overlook in the popular film Mean Girls.
Now, Cady, if we want this to work, you are gonna have to keep hanging out with them like nothing is wrong.
Number 10. Gretchen gets to wear hoops. Let's start near the end. The Plastics clique and the primary source of the film's title is run by Regina George, at least initially.
And evil takes a human form in Regina George.
She dictates not only to the school at large, but also to her hangers-on, Karen Smith and Gretchen Wieners.
So fetch. What is fetch? Oh, it's like slang from England.
This includes forbidding them from wearing articles of clothing like hoop earrings because they're, quote, her thing, despite Gretchen receiving a pair of them from her parents as a Hanukkah gift.
And then for Hanukkah, my parents got me this pair of really expensive white gold hoops. And I had to pretend like I didn't even like them, and it was so sad.
However, once the Plastics have broken up at the film's end, Gretchen can be seen sporting a pair after all. Number 9. Regina's Homeschooler beloved book. Regina is hardly an intellectual, but she's still quite a cunning, if cruel, girl.
Don Schweitzer is a fat virgin.
Still half true.
She also is oddly disparaging and dismissive of homeschooling and those who experience it.
So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up!
Why is this odd? Because one of the books in her room, The Lively Art of Writing, is one often favored by homeschoolers and their parents and/or teachers. Whether the book's presence in her room is a hint that Regina has hidden depths, an interest in writing beyond a burn book, or just a fun Easter egg from the set dressers, we can only guess.
This girl is the nastiest skank bitch I've ever met.
Number 8. The Wrong Elephant. Cady Heron is the protagonist and is dropped into high school life after being homeschooled while living in Africa. She naturally has trouble adjusting, but she does make friends that have positive and negative influences on her. Cady also develops a crush on Regina's ex-boyfriend Aaron.
Even though I wasn't allowed to like Aaron, I was still allowed to look at him and think about him and talk to him.
When she shows Aaron around her room, a picture is seen of Cady riding an elephant. Despite Cady growing up in Africa, the elephant seen in the photo is an Asian one. While we'll grant that it could have been rehabilitated back from a zoo or something, it still seems far more likely that it was intended to be an African one and this was just a mistake.
You're not listening to me.
Oh no, it was coming up again. Word vomit. No, wait a minute.
What is this?
Actual vomit.
Number 7. Odd time for a talent show.
Every day is so wonderful.
Mean Girls features a famed talent show sequence featuring a rapping performance and a risque performance of Jingle Bell Rock by the Plastics. This in itself is fairly obvious, but what's really odd about the talent show is when it takes place. According to a poster in the girls' bathroom, the date the event was held on was November 27, 2003. Not only is the month a little premature for something Christmas related, you heard us retailers, but the 27th was also that year's Thanksgiving. You're telling us that kids attended an event at school on a US national holiday? As if.
That is so fetch.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Number 6. A Flimsy Ruse.
Oh my god, I remember this.
Ugh, I haven't looked at that in forever.
Here, check it out, Cady.
We mentioned Regina George's poison pen earlier. The main evidence is her burn book, a journal filled with hurtful gossip about everyone in school, students and teachers included. To get back at Cady and the other Plastics after she's ousted from the group, Regina omits their names from the book and includes some dirt on herself to make it seem like they were responsible for writing it, making them social pariahs. Except it's all handwritten, and no one thinks to check Karen, Gretchen, or Cady's handwriting against the writing in the burn book? Seems like it'd be pretty easy to exonerate them.
Yeah, she's trying to make it look like we wrote it, but really, she wrote it.
Miss Wieners, why would Regina refer to herself as a fugly slut?
Number 5. Shakespearean Queen Bees. One of the fan favorite scenes of the film is another Christmas-related moment. In this moment, candy canes are delivered to students, on this occasion by Damian.
Ho, 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 no! Candy cane grounds!
Okay, hurry up.
This leads to a much-loved quote.
Glen Coco? Fall for you, Glen Coco! You go, Glen Coco!
While most are probably paying more attention to Damian's admittedly hilarious delivery, the background of the scene contains a classical Easter egg related to the film's plot. The Shakespeare quote on the blackboard is from The Two Noble Kinsmen, which features 3 queens asking for revenge for the deaths of their husbands. 3 queens fits well with the 3 queen bees, or 4, of the plastics, no?
Fine. You can walk home, bitches.
That's where you're going, fat ass.
Number 4. Ms. Norbury is a piano virtuoso. During the aforementioned talent show, the plastics nearly faced disaster during their performance after losing their CD player and the music they'd prepared. However, Cady begins singing Jingle Bell Rock and is joined by the others, with Ms. Norbury joining them on the piano.
Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock.
Now, in case you didn't know, playing by ear can be quite difficult, even for professionals. So, Ms. Norbury is not only an overworked, underpaid high school teacher / bartender who drives a Trans Am? What? But she's also an amazing piano player. Maybe her third job is as a music teacher or a lounge player.
I pushed myself into working 3 jobs. And now I'm gonna push you, because I know you're smarter than this.
Number 3. Cady copies Regina before replacing her. In her attempts to take Regina and the rest of the plastics down from within the group, Cady inadvertently becomes more like Regina over time.
Why were you talking to Janis Ian?
I don't know. I mean, she's so weird. She just, came up to me and started talking to me about crack.
While this can easily be seen after she's already taken Regina's place, given that Cady starts wearing hoop earrings, there are some signs beforehand too.
Hey guys. You look awesome.
I know, right?
One of the more prominent indicators is the necklace with the letter C on the end that Cady begins wearing, an imitation of the R one that Regina wears. Subtle foreshadowing is always fun to find, no matter the film.
That Cady girl is hot. She might even be hotter than Regina George.
Number 2. Cady's weird racism. Although generally pretty intelligent, Cady makes a surprisingly dumb and racist mistake early on in the film. While trying to get to know students in the cafeteria, she attempts to speak Swahili to black kids.
Jumbo!
What?
Trying to fit in and falling back on something familiar is one thing, but did Cady honestly believe that the students were from Africa? Did she, someone who grew up there, not realize that Swahili is just one of literally thousands of languages spoken on the continent? Is she unaware of American history and that most black people in the US had ancestors who were African slaves who lost much of their culture? Like, what the actual hell, Cady?
So if you're from Africa, why are you white? Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Number 1. Janis and Damian's map. When she first arrives at North Shore High, Cady is completely ignorant of the social hierarchy of the school.
Here, this map is gonna be your guide to North Shore.
Thankfully, her new friends Janis and Damian manage to fill her in on everything she needs to know. Part of their education includes a map of the cafeteria and the surrounding environs.
Cool Asians, varsity jocks, unfriendly black hotties, girls who eat their feelings.
This map contains plenty of blink and you'll miss it details, including where each clique sits in the lunchroom, the typical menu items served, as well as a warning that the nearby woods are prone to makeout sessions and sexual activity. Useful info indeed. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.